Welcome back to the channel, guys. You're watching Krawler Kingdom. I'm Jesse, and we're back at you right after Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and give a review on a brand new tool for the shop that I have set up. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of feedback for those of you that are building your own crawlers. This, my friends, is the JD2 Model 32 Bender. I got it mounted to the ground. Took me a couple tries to get it together correctly. Made a couple mistakes. I didn't put this because I did a manual. I'll probably buy the swag kit on here. Pretty heavy duty, not that light. The 32 comes with 2 arms. Now I took an old piece of tube that I had. Honestly, I cut these off of an old slider that bent up. And I tried doing the old Harbor Freight bender, and all I got was severe kinking. Right now I'm doing test bends to go ahead and build a cross member for the transmission for the CJ. Let's give this a couple cranks. Let's take a look at it. All right. So you just kind of hold this back against it and rotate it around and get it so that way it's hooked in here. Go ahead and pull like a man, I guess. And then you can slide this one in. Word to the wise. I did this bend. When my phone was in lock screen, I just pushed to take a picture and it cuts out after like 10 seconds. Once you have this one pushed a certain amount and it's maxed out, this lower one will slide in and it'll clip into here. Obviously this one's bent, so I need to overbend it and have it spring back. This will hold it so you can rotate this one back, clip back in, and go another notch. So you're going basically notch by notch. You missed me heavy breathing and belly aching about how I really need to get a ram. I'm not going to play around with this business. I'm too old and fat for this. When I had to pull it out, I had to pull this pin up because it caught into the holes of this die so it could rotate back. It sprung back 2 degrees into 46.5. I have to get this pin out, and I had to sledgehammer it in. There was something going on with the paint that was on here, or the shape, something that wasn't going in super easy. Go ahead and release this bolt. Here's the tube after it's done, and this is Dawn tube. It was off of a rock slider from Poison Spider that I don't use anymore. This was the attempt I made with a Harbor Freight bender. I marked it every 1/2 inch. Tried to move it along. All it did was slide itself back in. Now, the inside of this bend isn't too bad, but if you can tell, let's see if I can open, it's narrower here than it is here. So it widened out on this side as it got narrow here and deformed it. So if you look at where the actual tube bender went, that I bought the JD2 one, this is a little over a 45, and it's not widened at all. And it's extremely smooth down the middle. I did spray it down with some lube, but if you look at some of the other attempts I had with the tube bender, and you'll see that giant kink, that kink. So that's why I went with JD2. So people, they're like, oh yeah, I bend all the time with the Harbor Freight. Good for you. This is sand filled. I got it filled with sand, packed, taped up, and tried all these things, and it didn't work. I think the bend is infinitely better and actually usable and structural versus something like this. I feel so much more comfortable about this than the option I had before. Final thoughts on this. The big reason why I went with the JD2 was because it had the Model 32, which says it can bend quarter wall 2-inch tubing. So that was a big selling point for me, and I got it on a Black Friday deal, so I got a little bit of discounts. I still paid a ton of money for this. Can't remember what it was. After this, I'm buying the ram. I'm going to go get a Harbor Freight ram, and I'll get the swag kit. I'm just too out of shape to be pulling that hard per degree. These dies were tight. Something that it doesn't tell you is what this was for in the instructions. It needs to ride down the middle of these holes so it can catch and get stuck so it doesn't spring back. Adjusting these, I'll show you. These come with a pin in them right here that you need to hammer down and adjust so that way it goes ahead and is at the proper height and aligning it. I need to loosen these up and make sure that these 2 shoes, so I need to get these flattened out and tightened down, and then we'll be good to go. Do I feel that this was worth it? 100%. That's an actual usable bend. Do I wish it was cheaper? 100%. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys own a Bender? Do you love the Harbor Freight ones that you're using for those that are doing that? Did some of you guys go with other ones? How have you been feeling? I definitely want to get a bunch of use out of this and be able to do it without having to bother anybody. Again, I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Just wanted to reach out, put up a little video, tell everybody happy holidays. Tell you guys all thank you so very much for those of you that watch this and support me and say kind words and wheel with me. One of the greatest things that come of these videos for me is being able to meet and wheel with some of the people that have watched me, because I know how exciting it was and sometimes is for me when I get to wheel with those people that I've watched. Next trip is just in a couple weeks. I'll be down at Winter 4x4 Jamboree in Sand Hollow. If you haven't signed up, you see this in time, make the effort. Hopefully the weather's nice. We'll get a little bit more sun for those that are up north, and those of you that are down south in like Arizona, areas like that are already sunny, maybe you'll tolerate it. You guys have a good one.